Hello everyone, friends. This is Mozart speaking. I congratulate you once again. The round mark of $80,000 has been broken. I also waited quite a long time for this mark. If you've watched my videos, I constantly mentioned that this was a bullish flag. So far, that's how it is. It just stretched out, but in the end, it turned out to be one. So, the target for this bullish flag. Essentially, here it is, by the book. This is a standard technical analysis book. We take the height of the flagpole and the breakout point. So, from here, the breakout point is August 5th. If we draw from August 5th, it roughly corresponds to the mark of $84,000 to $85,000, respectively. And how are we going to get there, to the mark of 85? So, the question isn't whether we'll reach 85. Yes, most likely we will, but how? Look, we currently have one ascending channel. This is a weekly time frame, just so you know, not a daily one. There it is in green. I've drawn it. It has quite a steep angle, but it's one of the latest. So, there are two options here. Either we go straight away, or we consolidate a bit first. Then we head to 85. Or we pull back to this channel around $74,000 to $76,000. Right here. And then from there, we go to 85. All three of these options are viable. And after 85, there could be a deeper correction. So, you know, I've set limit orders in the Telegram channel. I raise them for buying back after such a rise because, essentially, the growth is without a pullback. For Bitcoin, for Ethereum, now you can also place orders for Ethereum. By the way, Ethereum has broken through and, it seems, will close above its entire multi-month consolidation. Ethereum, I apologize, multi-week, it will close above the yearly moving average, and it looks absolutely fantastic right now. I set targets for it at $3,200. It has hit both targets. And basically, after the correction, nothing is stopping it. Right now, the path is clear to go to $3,600 and possibly to this channel boundary. $3,700 is the range after the correction. Let's get back to Bitcoin. Thus, these limit orders are set, including Solana. Everything is in the Telegram channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you do. The link is in the description below this video if you want to know the new entry points. Next, regarding liquidation. The liquidation map is Bitcoin, meaning if we have a first shot in the area. In short, during the so-called Trump spike, there was a liquidation of net funds amounting to $140 to $170 million, and now in the second spike, $80 million has been liquidated. This is net money, excluding leverage. For Ethereum, it's less, but still quite a bit. The first spike was $31 million, and today's spike is another $25 million. What's important here? It's important that divergence is starting to form on the lower timeframes, and I'm looking at the liquidation map on the hourly chart. It can also be based on liquidation. So, we have rising prices while the number of liquidations is decreasing. This indicates that the fuel for the market is running out. The fuel is running low, and it would be good to go down to gather this fuel. I'm not saying it will go down from the current levels. I don't know, but a pullback is quite likely. It's precisely for this reason that I've set a limit order at one of the nearest levels. But generally, after what I see here on the daily charts, the main point of protection for Bitcoin right now is this gap, the huge Trump gap, the so-called Trump protection, at 74,500. We must not go below the 74,500 mark. Essentially, for the same reason, here, around this cluster, this so-called order block, are good entry points for going long. If it gives a correction now, this is where I've placed my limit order, but the targets at 85 remain. Overall, this is Bitcoin. It looks good. On the daily chart, I was concerned until today's candle. Weak trend. The divergence was triple and it was forming, but today we seem to be covering it, closing roughly at these same levels. In short, the main thing is we'll cover both of these peaks. That's it, the divergence is removed and the trend is strong. It continues, and any somewhat significant pullback, around 4 to 6%, will be ideal entry points for long positions. Next, the dominance started to decline significantly. Moreover, it began to drop, judging by the daily chart. From such a peak, it's already going below 40 RSI. And This is a strong drop. So technically, this is a trend change. Already, it's a downward trend change. And here are some points, like stops, drops, liquidations. Sorry, of dominance, the nearest ones are 58.3% and 57.9%, but those are the closest. And the main control point here is around 57, conditionally 57.5%, 57.7%. Here's the largest order block. We can drop down to this level, and this is fuel for the ice. As for the altcoins, let's take a look. The marker for us, again, is Ethereum. Yes, as we know, Ethereum has soared and everything else has followed suit. Just look at Cardano, which has made such a rocket move. We made quite a bit on it in the trading channel. There was even a double size position on the spot, so it turned out really well. But the most interesting part is Total 3. This is the market cap of all altcoins excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. My target was $720 billion, and it has been reached. Moreover, it was closed with a solid, massive spread candle. This is the same weekly chart. Look at the volume. It bounced off the 50 moving average on huge volume. Perfect. That's it, the entire gap. Here's the April candle that dropped when Iran launched missiles at Israel. I remember that day perfectly. It has been covered, the entire gap. What are the current targets? Well, let's take a look at that as well. Let's take something from the latest channels. Well, here. It's complicated. There are quite a few to take from here. So, we've hit a wall. Probably something like this. No, actually, it might be even cooler. So we can give it a go. With a margin for correction, right? We can pull back to $700 billion or $690. There won't be any issues with that for the upward trend, and in the short-term longs, somewhere around here at these levels, re-enter into altcoins, somewhere around here. If a correction occurs, entering from the current levels is risky, it's foolish, there's no sense in it, but on a correction, yes. You can enter on any normal correction because, in fact, this is the first pump candle from a long consolidation. It's been several months here. The targets for altcoins are here, the upper boundaries of the white ascending channel, global. So, essentially, it's for covering the highs. March, April of this year, so roughly $770 to $780 billion to start with, and the upper limit is $800 to $820 billion. So, probably, that's the current target for Total 3. And here at the upper boundary, we need to look at the monthly time frame to see what will happen there, because it's quite likely it will draw a divergence. And perhaps it makes sense to close a large part of the positions here, if not all. I'm talking about large medium-term positions. As for what I will be closing in my portfolio, I will be writing all that in Telegram, in my Telegram channel. But overall, the target is this high, the same March-April of 2022, which Bitcoin conquered first back in October. Well, a year ago is now the time for altcoins, albeit a year late. Here it is, essentially, this high. Ice should come here, right here, once again, right here. Yes, that's exactly $800 to $820 billion. A very good target. From what looks appealing, where you can go long right now, well, there's quite a bit. Of interest, of course, is Cardano. In general, any dip here is interesting. A somewhat significant long on Cardano. Well, after such a spike, nothing stops it from going even later after a correction, right up to this order block, effectively covering the March high or at least touching it, around 75 cents. For Cardano, for example, from the strong ones, Solana, of course, Solana's target is around $240. That's the final one I see for now. But regarding this whole pattern, I've already written about it, meaning we seem to have fully worked out this pattern. However, this entire consolidation, this whole dip, not yet. This entire consolidation block is looking at around $240 to $250, conditionally for Solana. Ethereum is the same, fitting into this same picture. I posted a limit order in Telegram, and Dogecoin, thanks to Trump's victory, has musk-eyeing it. Dogecoin, by the way, is what I'm expecting from the altcoins. The March highs, Dogecoin has surpassed them, the March highs. So any minor pullback is also a long. It's going up without divergences. Dogecoin is just catapulting. Well, and memes, probably. Some memes that haven't taken off I think will pepper. Yes, it's just starting to move, only just beginning. It needs to complete the whole pattern, this consolidation, essentially a pullback and then up. Also to the highs of the warts. Well, and Floki looks pretty much the same. I won't be watching it. But probably the key point is that the likelihood of a pullback right now is high. And if we talk about entering right from the current levels, it's risky, unclear, and unnecessary, even if the price goes up further from here. So in my case, I will continue to take profits on the medium-term positions that I have already built up for a while. As for the short term, well fine, I won't enter at the current levels, it will go up another iteration, then there will be a pullback, and I'll enter on the pullback. In any case, I want to see at least some pullback so that I find it interesting to enter for the short term in a quick trade. At the current levels, no, it's very risky. Next, what's interesting CDD? This is Coinbase Destroy, a so-called indicator. This is the number of large holders who have locked in Bitcoin within a certain time frame, so they have a large volume of Bitcoin in their wallets, and moreover, they have held it for a long time. These are the so-called smart money, typically people who rarely make mistakes. What's interesting is that during the pump, after Trump, a significant amount of old positions were closed at the $75,000 to $76,000 mark. And large coins. However, during today's pump to $80, they were hardly touched at all. I don't know what this is related to. Perhaps it's because it's higher here, if not directly from the current levels. But, so far, only one wave of this growth has occurred. You can ignore this. This is the battle of the 70 GOX. That's how you can look at it. And, in principle, at the $75,000 mark, there was one of the strongest consolidations. Well, probably after the rebound on the 11th of October, and the continuation on 15th October. And over the last few months, the largest was during the liquidation on the 5th of August. An interesting picture here as well. What else can we look at regarding the blockchain? Money flows. Very good. Bitcoin is being rapidly withdrawn from exchanges. Even during this rise, it's just all being vacuumed up by ETFs. Inflows into ETFs are in the billions, breaking historical records. Bitcoin has actually surpassed the gold ETF volumes at BlackRock. Never seen anything like it. Very strong outflows. The equivalent of $320 to $330 million is being withdrawn daily. So, that's basically the whole picture. To summarize, what I'm expecting is Bitcoin at 85, either from the current levels or after a pullback to the range of 74 to 76, somewhere around there, 76 to 500, then up to 85, and altcoins. I don't know what the pullback will be like, but if it's total 3, I won't be analyzing individual altcoins, there are too many. But regarding total 3, this pullback to the range of $690 to $705 billion seems like a good re-entry point right now. About here. And the target is the March high of 770. Then, 800 to 820 is the upper boundary of the channel. This is a more or less global outlook. Although regarding altcoins, well, no, probably. Yes, it's not worth discussing any further. Yes, there's the same flagpole, and the target is 810 to 820. Yes, that's the growth potential for now. After that, there will be problems. If we look at Ethereum, separately among altcoins, it shows a target, after such a pump of 3600 to 3700, roughly around there. As for Cardano, we can look at it. This is the 200-week moving average, which it could test. I don't see other targets here. Looking at order blocks is pointless. This is the magnet, and Cardano wants to try to break through it once again, so that's roughly 0.75. As I said in this video, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Once again, congratulations to everyone on reaching $80,000. Well, another achievement for crypto, and quite a significant one. Thank you all. I'll keep you updated. During this time, I'll be recording more videos about pumps and growth because there's plenty to talk about. We need to stay alert and know when to take profits and grab the chips off the table. Have a good start to the working week. Mozart signs off. Bye, everyone.